welcome to Sageflo's 3x3 podcast. We're so excited to have you with us today. We're very lucky to welcome John Evans, CEO and founder of the Trilogy group of companies and the Opus Hotel Corporation. John, would you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, Julian. I'm a real estate developer, probably now getting close to 40 plus years. I've been in the real estate development business based in Vancouver. I'm now living in Mexico, working on my first hotel development in this country. In my early stage, I was fortunate to work with a company called IntraWest. IntraWest in 1986 bought Blackcomb Skiing Enterprises at Whistler. It's the second mountain at Whistler. It's the one with the longest downhill in the world. And I then proceeded as the development manager, executive vice president of development, to work on the resort at Blackcomb. 1990, I left IntraWest, formed my own company, and Trilogy built the shopping center at Whistler plus 4 mixed-use retail residential projects. So in doing furnished condominiums at Whistler, we sort of backed into the hotel development business. It was a requirement if you bought a condominium at Whistler that it needed to be in a rental pool. So there would be accommodation for people coming to ski. And so essentially everything we built in those 4 projects with the residential component was by and large essentially hotel accommodation. In the late 90s, with no more land available at Whistler for development, we then moved to the city. We took our model and we built the Westin Grand Vancouver, which I believe is now flagged by Hilton. We built a 213-room hotel in downtown Vancouver. So at that point, the Trilogy Group was now in the hotel business. In late 1999, I had an opportunity to buy a piece of real estate in a historic neighborhood of Vancouver called Yaletown, which in 2000 was really nothing more than some dark streets with warehouses, whereas today it is probably one of the most vibrant neighborhoods in Vancouver. And Opus Hotel Vancouver is now in its 21st year of operation. So exciting. We've just opened in Richmond, another 100-room property right beside Vancouver International Airport called Versanti. It's in the family. And I'm now and have been for the last year living in Puerto Vallarta, working on Opus Riviera Nayarit, a 120-room hotel about 30 minutes north of Puerto Vallarta. So I'm enjoying the sunshine.
Well, that's incredible. And after all your time in Vancouver, it's probably well warranted and deserved. One of the things that I think would be interesting for people to know is the model of hotels and hotel management and hotel development. I think a lot of people think if it's a Hilton, the Hilton bought it, the Hilton owns it, the Hilton manages it and runs it day to day. And that's not necessarily the case.
There are basically 3 aspects to the business. There is development and ownership. Typically, the development will be undertaken by the ultimate owner of the business. So you've got the ownership piece. The second, and often not the same party, is management. So the hotel management business is a very significant global business. In many cases, the hotel management companies do not have ownership. They are purely in the hotel management business. And the third piece, which is often misunderstood, is the franchise or licensing of brand or flag. And so if we take a classic example such as Marriott Hotels, which I think now have some 30 brands working within Marriott, they are not developers of hotels. They don't develop, although they will engage people to develop for them. They are in the management business. They are also in the franchise or licensing business. In some cases, they manage their flagged properties. In other cases, they do not. So you have three distinct areas in the hotel business: ownership, management, and what I'll call licensing or franchise.
Oh, that's great. And for you, you're two of the three, right?
No, in fact, we're three of three,
Okay.
because we build our own hotels with partners in the world. We're in the hotel management business, and I also own the Opus hotel brand. So the Opus brand is franchised and is available for license.
Well, that's incredible, and a testament to your vision and abilities to take on all those three.
One of the reasons for doing that, Julian, is you pay a lot of money for the use of a Marriott or a Westin or a W brand. They're incredibly lucrative contracts for those companies. Whereas if you own your own brand and you create your own brand and you establish that brand, you don't send all those dollars to that other big company that's publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, no, probably better to put the money in your pocket than someone
Hopefully.
else. Hopefully, yes. Well, that's probably a great segue into. It goes without saying that the past 2 years have been incredibly challenging for so many businesses, but particularly the hospitality industry, which has been severely impacted by the travel restrictions and customer sentiment of worry of traveling and so forth. For your businesses, what have you had to do to pivot to get through this time?
Where to begin? We saw some downturns. We lived through the 2009, 10, 11 global meltdown. So we saw something akin, but nothing even close. We had never seen a situation where essentially your businesses were closed. They were essentially shut down. We were fortunate that the Canadian federal government stepped up. They stepped up for businesses, and we were able to have the salary component for our hotel management groups. A significant portion of that salary was covered, but that subsidy has essentially, for I think virtually every hotel owner in Canada, has kept them afloat. And we only reopened Opus Hotel Vancouver in August. We were closed for 16 months. And if you had told me that that was possible, I would have never believed that there would be anything that could cause that to occur. So lots of pain, lots of renegotiation with lenders. So every hotel owner has worked very hard to stay afloat. And the good news is the majority have. I think there was the expectation that there was going to be a lot of product coming to market to be sold, distressed sale. That didn't happen in Canada. I don't think it, in fact, happened globally. Everybody creatively found a way to weather the storm and to try and live through it. Some of the regions in the world are doing better today. Mexico is on fire. There's no restriction to coming to this country. And if you were to look at the airports, you would understand that the 430 million people that live to the north, there is a massive, inbound travel into Mexico. I don't think that's certainly not happening in the cities of Canada and the United States. Resort, yes. The urban markets are slower to recover, and the big box, the over 300 room hotels in urban settings, will be the slowest to recover. They will be the last to see recovery. And then there are a myriad of issues that play into this.
From your perspective and looking back so far where we're at the pandemic, have you felt that there were any opportunities that will emerge from this, or learnings that will stick with us as you head down into the future?
We sort of lived through it in the 2009, 10, 11 era when there was a dramatic fall in demand, prices fell. And we're not in the commodity business. There are those in the hotel business who really are a commodity. We sell lifestyle. We sell, we're a lifestyle brand. And a lifestyle brand is basically more niched, it's more expensive, and it is more sought after when that segment of the world is traveling. The good news is that the millennial world is going to travel in many cases before the older segments of the market will travel. So we're very focused. We're always focused on lifestyle brands. Our big customers, Lululemon, Electronic Arts, Microsoft, those are our big customers. So we understand that market. And those companies are going to be, and have done, many of them have done very well through the pandemic, but we will continue to cross market with those international brand lifestyle brands.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And, probably like minds and creative minds and people who understand your product are the ones that will hopefully be the first to come back and provide the support.
I think there's evidence today that they are the first to travel. They're getting on an airplane. They're careful. They're considered, but they are getting on the plane and going away. My prior call, the individual said, well, we're going away in 1 week's time because we haven't been away for 2 years. So that's definitely happening.
I have a suspicion that there's a lot of pent-up demand. And once people are finally said either it's safe or I've had enough.
I think the question is going to be, are the Americans going to return to Canada in the summer of 2022? I don't think anyone has that answer.
Yeah, I think almost a month ago, I would have said, I think I know the answer, but it's always a changing game right now, and it is very hard to predict. One thing we wanted to ask is, from your perspective, the role of digital marketing. Obviously, it was important before the pandemic, and probably, I suspect, even more so now. How has digital marketing impacted the hotel industry, and what role do you see it playing as we navigate forward?
Well, it's been the topic of conversation for the last month in every way, shape, and form. My view is that digital advertising, the digital world relative to hotels, it will become virtually the single and sole way in which hotels are marketed and sold. So I cannot put enough importance in it. It is my daily focus. And you and I have had conversations on it. It is how we are going to restore the Opus Vancouver business, and it is how we are going to grow the Versanti hotel business. And it is how I'm going to launch the Opus Riviera brand as I come into the high-end Mexican resort business. So it's everything. I think the limitation is I'm just not sure how many people are really very well trained and brilliant at executing. So it's an area where we need more talent. We need more individuals, not just big agencies, but individuals who can join the team, because they now are a critical part of the management group.
No, that's absolutely true. From my perspective, finding great talent is always hard, and there's so much demand now and competition among all companies for these very limited resources and these great minds that it can be very daunting at times, because it's not just the hospitality business that's more reliant on digital marketing. It's retail, it's finance, and so forth. So if anything, the pandemic has probably accelerated that demand as people have had to go to a primary digital only marketing approach or an only digital marketing approach. So it will definitely be interesting to see how it plays out. Well, John, thank you so much for taking time to share your expertise and story with us. We're super grateful and wish you all the luck. And I'm very hopeful that that things will turn around soon. And I look forward to seeing this Mexican hotel as soon as it's up. I think I'll be customer number one.
That would be great. I look forward to welcoming you.
All right, thank you. Have a wonderful day.